for Johnny Manziel.
Pistol, back, fires, caught on his first pass as a pro. Anthony Armstrong out over the 35 to the 37-yard line, and he's dragged down there.
Johnny Manziel went from being a college threat to one of the biggest draft busts in NFL history. Thank you Zero Mega for commenting on my last video. Is Matthew Stafford Hall of Fame worthy? What's going on, everybody? This video is going to be a good one. It took me forever to make this one. It took me about a week, and then I had to delete a different post, which was a Carson Wentz post, because I got some facts wrong and I didn't want to post misinformation, so I deleted it. And since you're already here anyway, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel and follow me on Twitter at JoeBama97. Johnny Manziel was truly a spectacle in college. Manziel played for Texas A&M. He won the Heisman Trophy his freshman year of college, Manning Award, and the Davey O'Brien National Quarterback Award. Manziel also won the Cotton Bowl, beating Oklahoma 41-13. Johnny Manziel, to say the least, was what every freshman QB at any college dreams of accomplishing. His sophomore year of college, Manziel would pass for 4,114 yards and beat Mississippi State 51-41. Manziel scored 5 touchdowns, which was a career high for him, and landed him 5th in the Heisman Trophy voting. So you're probably already asking, but if that's the case and he accomplished all of that, then how was he a draft bust? Well, let me explain. It was 2014 and Johnny Manziel decided it was the perfect time to declare for the NFL draft. He was a first-round prospect for some teams, and one of those teams happened to be Cleveland Browns. Johnny Manziel would be picked first round, 22nd pick of the NFL draft in 2014. Other players like Jadeveon Clowney, Khalil Mack, Aaron Donald, Mike Evans, Sammy Watkins also were included in the draft and were picked before the likes of Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was picked over Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, Jimmy Garoppolo, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Jarvis Landry, which we can look at now and say, why? Well, back in 2014, the Cleveland Browns were looking for a new generational QB. After losing most of their games in 2013 and having a record of 4 wins and 12 losses under QB Jason Campbell, who was less than stellar. Jason Campbell played for 5 teams, and one of those being Cleveland Browns. In 2013, he would only pass for 2,015 passing yards and had only 11 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. So there was a good reason for why Cleveland Browns decided that they were going to try to get Johnny Manziel and see if he would be the next generational QB. But there was only one thing the Browns seemed to overlook. Back in Johnny Manziel's college years, he partied hard, often drinking hard alcohol and doing substance abuse routinely. So after the Cleveland Browns drafted him, he went on to play for the 2014 season. He'd be backup for Brian Hoyer, but his time would come week 15 of the 2014 season. Johnny Manziel would start playing against the Cincinnati Bengals, completing 10 out of 18 passes for 80 yards and 2 interceptions for a 27.3 passer rating, and was sacked 3 times. The Browns would lose that game 30-0. The next game would roll around, and once again Johnny Manziel would start. He would complete 3 out of 8 passes against the Carolina Panthers. He would end up getting a hamstring injury and have to leave the game early, giving up the starting position back to Brian Hoyer. The Browns would lose that game 17-13. For the rest of the 2014 season, Johnny Manziel was ruled unable to play. Overall, Johnny Manziel's 2014 season stats was 18 completions out of 35 passes for 176 passing yards and 2 interceptions. He had 9 rushing attempts for 29 yards and 1 touchdown. Many people in the Browns organization and critics thought Johnny Manziel's rookie season was a joke. That brings us to his second season with the Browns. 2015, Johnny Manziel would be brought into the Jets game and would pass for 15 times, completing 8 of those passes, including 1 pass that went for 54 yards. But in that game, Manziel would cause 3 turnovers, 2 of them being him fumbling the ball. The Jets ended up winning that game 31-10. Johnny Manziel would again start week 2 against the Tennessee Titans. The Browns would be facing a former Heisman Trophy winner, Marcus Mariota. Johnny Manziel would pass 15 times, completing 8 of those passes for a total of 172 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. He would win that game 28-14. The former starter, McCown, would recover from an injury and start week 3 over Manziel till week 7. Fourth quarter versus the Rams, McCown would suffer an injury and Manziel would be put in the game to complete the last bit of the fourth quarter. He completed 4 out of 5 passing attempts for 27 yards. The Browns would lose that game 24-6. Week 8, McCown would again start over Johnny Manziel, but again fourth quarter suffered an injury and Manziel would take the starting position again. Week 9, Manziel would start again, completing 15 out of 33 passes for 168 passing yards and 1 touchdown. The Browns would again lose that game 31-10 to the Bengals. Week 10 was Manziel's best game of the season. He would be playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers and complete 33 out of 45 passes for 372 passing yards and 1 touchdown, even though that game the Browns would lose 30-9. But this is just when the trouble began to brew. The Browns would announce Johnny Manziel as the starter for the rest of the season, but during the bye week, a video went viral of Johnny Manziel partying in Texas. Because of this incident, the Browns would start McCown and Davis when McCown got injured. But after the Browns lost to the Bengals again under QB Davis, the Browns would bring back Manziel and start him. Manziel would complete 21 of 31 passes for 270 passing yards and 1 touchdown. The Browns would win 24-10, win against the 49ers, which ended the Browns' 7-game losing streak. So yeah, I bet the management was pretty happy about that decision. But later, Johnny Manziel would suffer a concussion, making him unable to play the last game of the 2015 season. But once again, trouble would be brewed as Johnny Manziel missed the check-in for the last game of the season. In 2016, the Browns were fed up with the former first-round pick and decided it was time to cut ties with Johnny Manziel. During that time, Manziel was also being investigated for domestic abuse against his ex-girlfriend. The Browns would later send out a statement that said Manziel's disregard of their expectations of every player on and off the field undermined the Browns. This would lead to Johnny Manziel's release November 11, 2016. So based off his statistics alone, he was less than stellar for a first-round QB. But that leads us to his off-field endeavors. Well, this brings us back to 2012 when his life of crime would begin. In 2012, Johnny Manziel would be arrested for 3 misdemeanors: failure to produce identification, possession of a fictional driver's license, and disorderly conduct. In 2013 off-season, Manziel would oversleep and miss a session with the Manning Passing Academy and would be accused of taking payments for autographs even though there was no evidence provided to prove that case, but he'd still be suspended for the opening of the 2013 season. 2015 season, Manziel would be entered into a treatment program, but no one knew why. He would also throw a bottle of water at a heckler during a golf tournament. Manziel would also be pulled over by an officer after seeing Manziel and his girlfriend fighting in the vehicle, but no charges were filed. In the 2016 offseason, Manziel would be dropped by his marketing agency and his agent, as both members no longer wanted to represent him. The Dallas Police Department would reopen the domestic abuse case against him after his ex-girlfriend accused him of assault January 3rd of 2016. She reported saying that he dragged her by the hair into his car and threatened to kill her and himself. Manziel would be charged on misdemeanor assault charges. June 24, 2016, Manziel would be reported for buying $1,000 worth of substances from the gas pipe, aka a drugstore. So all in all, Johnny Manziel was by far one of the biggest NFL draft busts of all time. Johnny Manziel would never get to 2,000 passing yards in a season for the 2 years he played for the Browns. He was less than stellar, he was worse than McCown, he was worse than all these other backups, which is sad to say. All in all, the Cleveland Browns were stuck with about 3 backups: Johnny Manziel, Davis, and Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer was a better QB than Johnny Manziel was. Brian Hoyer wasn't even drafted in the 2009 draft when it was his time to be drafted. He was signed on as a free agent. Yet, he still played way better than Johnny Manziel, who was a first-round pick. So the conclusion of this video is Johnny Manziel was one of the biggest NFL draft busts in history. Boy, did this video take me forever. Make sure to like and subscribe, turn on notifications, comment down below if you would like to be the next shout out or the next video shout out, whenever that's coming out. Don't have a date for it yet because life's been throwing some loops, but make sure to turn on notifications to get my next video. What's your thoughts on the situation? What video should I make next? Please leave your answer in the comments. Also, if any information is incorrect, please comment down below and let me know so I can, fix it and all that. Thanks for watching.